Hello and welcome to Perfect Glamour Fashion. Today's tutorial is a continuation of our last tutorial where we learned how to make an armhole Princess Dart Bustier with asymmetric neckline and hemline. Alright, so I used the pattern we got from the last video, okay, to cut this out. Remember that we had to level left and right, okay, so I added half-inch sewing allowance round, but then I've also padded, but I used the lightest gobstay wording to do the padding. Okay, I used two layers of the lightest wording. I've also done the same thing for the side. Now mind you, for the side I added half-inch to the part you'll be joining, and I used 2 inches as the sewing allowance for the side. That is, the part you'll be joining to the other part is half-inch, but the side that you'll be joining for the front and back is 1 inch. I hope you got that. Now remember, the back is 3 pieces. You have the center back, then the piece by the right and the piece by the left. Okay, so just if you've not seen the cutting video, please go ahead and watch it first before watching this one. It will make it very easy for you, or you can refresh your mind by watching the cutting video before watching this one. Okay, so remember, the side is always 2 inches sewing allowance, but the part you'll be joining is half-inch sewing allowance. Now I've gone ahead to join one side, that's the part that have that slanted V curve. I've gone ahead to join the sides to the center front. This is so that I can cut out the collar, right? That collar structure, that black stuff that went down the neckline. Okay, so for the left, I came out by 2 inches. Remember that there's already sewing allowance in the fabric. Okay, so by the time you join it, it will now remain 1 inch. Then for the other side, I came out by 3 inches. So, and then I now ruled out the shape. Just watch what I'm doing closely, it's very easy to do. And then I now ruled out the shape, and also I saw that the down part of my paper will not be able to accommodate what I'm doing, so I took it up a bit and then did the same thing. Okay, so don't get confused. Now I'll pull down this smaller side. This side I will have the extra small stuff by the left, and then I marked straight. If you observe that picture, you see that that side went all the way to the armhole and then had another one coming from the shoulder. So just watch very carefully. And then at that point, that place that the armhole meets the shoulder, I marked 1 inch. 1 inch. So you can see that I've already formed that neck stuff, that collar by the neck. You see that I've already formed it. So I'm using my curved ruler to just join it in the down part, so that it will give me the shape that I want. Mind you, you can really do this anyhow you want to do it. You can get any shape you want. Just understand the concept so that you can do it the way you want to do it. You get that, right? Okay, so now this is it. You can see that this is the shape that we are looking for. So I'm going to be cutting this out. You can see the way I placed it now is going to just sit properly without disturbing me when you are joining it. You get that? That's the aim of what we are doing. So I'm going to be cutting this out. I'm going to be cutting this out on the paper, and then I'm going to be cutting it using a black fabric. Okay, so you can cut this out using any fabric of your choice. I'm using a crepe fabric that I'm going to be adding some interfacing to make it a bit sturdy, so that when you are joining it, it will be easy for you and to be firm. You get that, right? So the only place I'm going to be adding sewing allowance is this up part. The down part of this our collar, you will not be adding sewing allowance to the upper, because there's already sewing allowance on the neckline. So you'll be adding sewing allowance to the down part. That's where you'll be joining the black fabric. I hope you understood that, right? Okay, so I'm showing you this is the upper part, then the down part will be adding sewing allowance to it. I'll go ahead and cut this shape, 2 pieces of this shape. Now I've gone ahead to cut it. I also went ahead to join the two pieces. Remember I told you that I'll be using an interfacing. I use them close gum or hair stay, depending on what it's called in your area, as the interfacing, and then I joined it. Okay, that's why you are seeing it looking that way, and ironed it. So I'm going to ahead to complete the other side of the bustier. Remember, it's just one side we joined in the front of part of the bustier, so I'll complete it, and then I'll do the same thing for the lining. As you can see, I've sewn the lining, the parts of the lining. There is the center front. I've joined the back. Also I've sewn the lining for the back. Now this is the center front of the main fabric, of the fashion fabric. You see that I've joined it and it's looking very good. That's why you should just do your bust padding very well. It's already standing, no bust caging, nothing. It's just standing on its own. You see that, right? So what I'm going to do is to go and join the sides. I won't join the neck parts because that's the part we'll be adding our collar to. So I'll join the sides, but then I'll show you what I'm going to do to the lining before I do the joining. So I've gone ahead to join the back also, the two sides of the back, and then I've added what is it called, darts to the other side of the back. I hope you saw that, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is to trim out the down parts of this my front, trim it out so it will be equal, and then I'm going to reduce the lining by 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that for both the front lining and the back lining. I'm going to reduce it by 1/2 inch so that when I sew it, it won't be popping out from under your clothes. That's why I do this, just to give it that neatness when you are done sewing, you get. So I removed 1/2 inch so that when I sew it, the lining will be hidden inside no matter what. Okay, so I'll now go ahead and join the sides and join the down part, but I will not close the upper part because of the collar that I'm adding to it. Now this is the back, this is the side of the back. Remember when we were cutting, one side was like this, then the other side was joined together, and this is the side that will have the zip. You get that now? So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to put the collar at the back, if you want to put the collar at the back, it's just the same method. Just place it with your paper and rule out how you want the collar to be. I don't want to put the collar at the back, so I'm going to join close up every part of this back except the armhole where I'm going to turning it over from, and then I reduce 1/2 inch from the back, just the way I did for the front. Okay, so now this is the other side of the back. Remember that the zip of this top is one side. Okay, it's one-sided. Okay, so I've reduced the lining by 1/2 inch, and then I'll join all the way. Remember, I don't want to have collar at the back, like I said. So if you want to have collar, do it the same way we did for the front. Okay, now for the front, we are going to be adding that collar, but before we turn it over, I'm going to notch inside. Remember, once you have a bustier that have a curve, you have a curve by the side of the bustier, do well to notch before you turn over so that it will be easy for you to turn over one, and it will look very neat when you turn it over and iron it. It won't be holding itself up together. Once you have a curve, just notch before you turn over. So now I'm done turning it over. I'm going to go ahead and iron this, but then I want to show you how I'll place my collar. You see the way that bustier is standing firm, right? It's just standing. There is no need for bust caging if you do your bustier well. So now I'm placing the collar that we cut. This is how I'll place it, but then I will join it from the back. I won't join it from the front here. I'll join it from the back so that you can turn it over to the front, because it's in the front that it will be visible, right? So this is how I'm going to be joining it. I'll place it along the back, and then I'll sew all the way to that V. I'm going to use chalk to show you. Yeah, you stop here at that place I marked with chalk, and then you place the smaller side and stop at that same point. So it's going to form like a V when you are done sewing it. Okay, then you go ahead and sew this. When you are done sewing this, you go ahead and notch. You will notch this area, especially that V that you formed with the two fabric meeting each other. You're going to notch. So when you're done notching, you're going to open it up and then begin to top stitch. You top stitch the excess two, let it face the main fabric. Okay, so you top stitch towards the main fabric. When you're done doing that, the next thing you're going to do is to place the smaller side, let it lie flat the way it's supposed to be, and then you will now sew across it towards the armhole. You get that? You now sew across it towards the armhole. once you're done doing that, you're already achieved what you want to get. It's going to be very easy for you to do. Okay, so if you're watching this video to this point, that means you're enjoying it. Okay, do well to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, do well to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so whenever we post a video, you'll be the first to be notified. So I've gone ahead to iron this out. So this part, I'm doing this in the night. Okay, that's why the video is looking like this. So but then I believe you can still see what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and join the shoulder. Okay, now you can open this up and then insert the front to the back and close for it to be neater, but I just joined this straight, and then you also go ahead and join the sides. Now you see this part that I'm chalking, you're going to be opening it up, notching it, so that when you open it up to iron, it will be easy for you. The next thing I'm going to do is to attach zip and then the sleeve. For the sleeve, I am attaching a short sleeve. Okay, so this is how I cut my own short sleeve. I mark my armhole plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Okay, so this will be 10, and then you will come down by the length of the sleeve. I'm using 10. Actually, I'm going to add 10 and a half, then I'll add ½ inch as sewing allowance. Okay, so I'm ruling out the 10 and a half plus ½ inch sewing allowance. I'm going to also rule under ½ inch as sewing allowance for the fabric. Now after doing that, I'm going to come down from the top tip of the shoulder and the sleeve by 4.5, and then I'm going to form a curve. Okay, so do is to form your curve, and then at the round sleeve, I'm going to mark the round arm plus 2 inches sewing allowance. So this is what I have. It's this simple. Okay, so it's a simple sleeve I'm doing. I'm going to cut 2 of it. I also cut lining, but that lining I didn't add the sewing allowance that I added to the main fabric to it. Okay, we're going to see why later. Now for sewing it, I'm going to open it up and sew along the down part by the ½ inch sewing allowance, and then I'll top stitch and then join the sides. So this is what my sleeve looks like. I hope you understood that. Okay, if you want me to do a detailed tutorial on how to form all kinds of sleeves, just say that in the comment section. Okay, and do well to ask me questions. If you have any question of any sort, do well to ask me. I'll be in the comment section to answer. So that will be the end of our tutorial for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.